Hello SG students, so today I'm going to show you how to do the coiling in pottery. So to begin with, you should have some materials with you, including the pottery knife, the wooden tools, and also I believe that you should have prepared a box of clay slip like this, okay? So to begin with, you should have a clay like this, right? The size is just like 1/3 of my palm here. Okay, it's not that big, okay, because we are going to make a long strip like this, okay? So, and then in order to make it longer, so I will use both of my hands and try to roll between my hands like this in order to shape it like a cylinder. So after it becomes longer and longer, then I will place it on the board. On the table, okay, and then I will first roll by one of my hand here. So when I roll, please make sure that you use both your fingers and also your palm. Roll along like this, okay? So don't just use your fingers. So if you just use your finger to roll the coil, and it will become like this. You can see you will left some ridges on the top and it is not even. So make sure that you use your whole hand to roll. And some of the time you will hear some very awkward sound because for the coil here, it just have, the both side is too flattened. It's not like a cylinder, like round, okay? So what to do, usually I will just press it in 4 sides, press it like this, and then it will form like a cube. Not a cube, but a rectangular shape like this, okay? See? Okay? And then you can try to twist it a bit, okay? Like you're twisting or you're squeezing a towel like this, and then roll again. Okay, so student, you keep rolling your coil until it is becoming longer. So now I'm going to roll it both hands like this. So when it becomes very long, so you can choose to just cut it into half because it will be too awkward if it becomes too long and it's difficult for you to roll it. Okay, so for me, I think I can cut away part of it. This part, I will just keep it under a wet towel. So don't let it dry. Okay, just put it aside. And for the rest of the part, I can keep rolling it. So make sure that the whole coil, it is very even. That means the thickness should be more or less the same. So you will see that for this part is a little bit thicker, so maybe I need to roll it more in this side. And then because for the coil, it will dry up very quickly. So sometimes I will just get a little bit water, but not too much, just drip a little bit water to keep my hand a little bit wet, but not too wet, so that I can keep the coil in a humid condition. So keep rolling it until you found the length it is what you want. And for me, I will usually coil until, just roll it until like my last finger. The thickness is just like my last finger, then I think it is good enough, okay? Okay, so now you can see that my coil is ready. It is very even in thickness, right? Okay, and then it is long enough for me to surround the plate here. So make sure that you should have prepared a slab. For me, it's a round, a circle platform, a bottom for me to coil on the top. Okay, so now let's begin. So we are going to stack those coil one by one until it looks very tall. Okay, so what to do? Now you need your clay slip to get prepared. So in order to stick it firmly, usually on the bottom, on the edge here, so we are going to make some cross like this. Or the same case here. So for the coil, and then on the side here, I also need to make the cracks. Okay, so but before adding the slip, then I have to mark up which area that I have to merge the end together. So instead of cutting it in a vertical way, I will cut it in a diagonal way. So later on I explain to you. So get your coil ready, and then just, in order to let you to look at it clearly, so I'm going to cut it diagonally. So you can see that it is a diagonal line instead of straight one. Okay, for the extra clay, you can just put it aside under your wet towel, okay, like this. And then just surround the plate. Okay, and then you will see that for this part, I have to cut it according to the diagonal line that I've just created here. So that means you may have a very, very tiny mark here for you to understand where to cut it. Okay, so for me, I will use the knife here to mark it a bit. So I'm going to cut in this part. Okay. Okay, and then I will have a diagonal line on both ends. See? Okay, so when I match it together, it will form a ring perfectly. Okay, so now I can add the slip on the top for the area that I have just put the cross on it. Okay, so students, now you can get a closer look of my work here. So I have already stuck the first coil on the top of the platform, and then you will see that there's a very small gap, a very narrow gap in between them, and also the inner part, there's a gap found. So how to refine those gaps? So you need a wooden tool here with this part is like a little finger. Okay, so this one is very helpful. And have a look of the edge here. We just merge the two ends. Then I will usually use the tool to help me to blend in the clay to blend in and merge it properly. And you can also use your finger if you want. Okay, so some people, they like the pattern left on the coil like this, but if you don't like, you can merge or blend in and then to close the gap here. So what to do, use the little finger wooden tools and then just get some clay from the coil and then blend into the gap like this. Blend in the gap like this. Okay? Then you will see that the gap is filled with the clay. So usually people like to just blend the gap in order to make it fine. And if you want, you can also merge the outer part here. If you don't like the clay, then you can also blend in by using the wooden tool. Okay, so that's what you can do until you have finished merging the edge. Okay, like this.